before I start, many people have asked me, because I worked at Ogilvy Mather for 10 years, which is the largest advertising agency in the world, and they asked me how is it that you could be Shomer Shabbat and work there. So I just want to tell a very quick story. A reporter from the Wall Street Journal called up Yeshiva University and said, do you have anybody interesting you could make an article about? And they said, yeah, we're a factory for lawyers and doctors because one crazy guy went into advertising. Go talk to him. So it ended up, I'm sorry if you can't see the screen, it's on the front page. It says, an ad man keeps kosher at Ogilvy. And he asked me for a great juicy story. And I told him that I work on the third largest hamburger company in America, Hardee's, and I never ate the product. He said, that's great. That's going to be the lead of my story. I woke up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. I said, that's a nice for him, but it's going to ruin my career because the Wall Street Journal is a, global newspaper. So he said, well, give me another story. So the lead of the article is, his father is an Orthodox rabbi, as was his grandfather, but Yoni chose a different calling. The truth is, I do have Smicha from YU, but I didn't tell him that. Anyways, basically I want to distinguish between the media and the message. I'm going to be talking more about the message because my company is called MindPrint Marketing. It's about making an emotional connection. So I just want to make sure that people understand that that's not the whole story. Because it's what I'm calling the medium is really you have to find out who your ideal customer is, where do you find them. This might be a good place, a networking event, social media, groups, forums, ebooks, webinars, whatever it is. And often there's something called irresistible offer that when you get people to your website, you might offer them a free consultation. These are all the very important tactics, but I'm really going to be talking about making that emotional connection. And that's what I'll call the message. So you should know that many studies prove that decisions are all made on emotions. And then after we make our emotional decision, we actually try to rationalize that by finding rational reasons, but it's actually an emotional decision. And so therefore, I believe that effective marketing really has to find those emotional triggers, and you have to understand what the desires and the frustrations of your client, of your ideal customer is, and you have to find those emotional barriers and you have to overcome them. And when you connect in that way, then people look at your product or service and they say, I need that, because you found what that was and you connected to them. I'm going to give you some examples. I call that MindPrint marketing. The first one is FedEx, and he's talking at 1 million miles an hour, and this guy has to get an amazing amount of things done. You can see he's got a phone in front of him. He has 10 calls going on at the same time. He's making deals all over the place, and for him, it's not even an option. He has to use Federal Express because there it is. There's the product as hero, because he's got to get stuff to people and keep everything moving.
Okay, Eunice, travel plans. I need to be in New York on Monday, LA on Tuesday, New York on Wednesday, LA on Thursday, New York on Friday. Got it? Got it. So you want to work here. What really makes you think you deserve a job here?
Well, sir, I think on my feet I'm good at figures and I have a sharp mind.
Excellent. Can you start on Monday?
Yes, sir, absolutely, without hesitation.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And in conclusion, Jim, Bill, Bob, Call, Fred, Load, Dork, Abe, and Ted. Business is business, and as we all know, in order to get something done, you got to do something. In order to do something, we got to get to work, so let's get to work. Thank you for taking the meeting. Peter, you did a bang-up job. I'm putting you in charge of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, perfect.
I know it's perfect, Peter. That's why I picked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's perfect. Peter, may I call you Pete?
Call me Pete.
Pete.
There's a Mr. Schnittler here to see you.
Tell him to wait 15 seconds.
Can you wait 15 seconds?
I'll wait 15 seconds.
Congratulations on your deal in Denver, Dave. I'm putting you down to deal with Dallas. Don, is it a deal? Do we have a deal? It's a deal. I got to go. I got a call coming in. Hi, Doc. Just dealt with Don.
In this fast-moving, high-pressure, get-it-done-yesterday world, aren't you glad there's one company that can keep up with it all?
You got a deal. Good. I'm putting you down to deal with Dick. Dick, what's the deal with the deal? Are we dealing? We're dealing. Dave, it's a deal with Don, Dork, and Dick. Dork, it's a deal with Dave, Dick, and Dave. Don, it's a Dork with Dick, Dave, and Doug. Gotta go, Dave. Disconnecting. Gotta go, Dick. Disconnecting. Gotta go, Dan. Disconnecting.
Federal Express. When it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight.
The next one, in deference to Ogilvy and Mather, this is one of the most famous ads that David Ogilvy wrote. He was launching Rolls-Royce. Now, if you have to understand, this is the 1930s, and this is the most expensive car. You can imagine cars made a lot of noise when you drove them, and he's trying to get the richest people in the world to buy this car, plunk down a lot of money, which, by the way, was about $13,000 in those days. And so what do you do? How do you sell a car like that to these very discriminating people? So his famous ad said, at 60 miles an hour, the loudest noise in this new Rolls-Royce comes from the electric clock. It was really revolutionized, launched the whole Ogilvy, which became the biggest agency in the world, and launched his career because he got to the emotion. He said, these people are really, really picky, discerning people. I got to convince them that this is something amazing. I told you. And the last example, Snapkeys is a company here in Jerusalem, a startup. They had a solution for typing on a smartphone with 3 or 4 keys by shape. And I was acting director of marketing. And when I was on the phone and we got calls from telephone company, telcos all over the world, the Israelis on the team were thinking, yes, we're going to make money, we're going to make money. And I was hearing something else. I heard, there's a learning curve, there's a learning curve. I'm worried about the learning curve. How are people going to figure this out, how to use this product? So when we went to the show, CTIA, and we launched it, we had a big trade show. I went a few days early. I trained 5th graders how to use it. I brought the 5th graders on the floor. Only the 5th graders were allowed to speak to the executives, and the tech blogs went crazy. We got more press than any other company there because that was the emotional connection that they had to hear. That was the emotional barrier they had to break. I want to know that there's no learning curve.